Hello and welcome to the last video where we're talking about phases of spiritual awakening. In this video, we're going to talk about the alignment phase. This is the ultimate goal, and it's a phase. So it happens, and then you get to grow and expand, and then go through phases again, and then come back to alignment. So let's get into it. My name's Devon. I help people on their spiritual awakening journey. And I also like to help you embody the most divine self you can. All right. Alignment phase. What is this? This is when we dissolve the spiritual ego. That was the last video I did. If you haven't watched it, I will link it below or at the end of the video. And this, again, I say it's the last phase, but like I kind of said at the beginning here, it's something that continuously comes around. So if you think about the spiral, it's one of my favorite sacred geometry symbols. But with the spiral, we go through all these phases, and then we get to go through them again. And so you hit alignment, and then all of a sudden you expand and you experience new things, and you get to a new level of awareness, and then you get to go through some of those phases again. You don't always go through every single phase of awakening multiple times, but they might come back around in blips. And then the more you get used to that and just shift with it, the quicker it goes, and the more you can stay in this alignment phase. And so you're like, oh, something's not really resonating, let's assess it, let's do it, no, back into alignment. Oh, there's some ego. Let's check that and go back into alignment. So hopefully that makes sense. What this is also the biggest thing that will mark this phase is really coming into alignment and stepping into living your life purpose. The thing is, most people going on a spiritual awakening journey have a deep inner calling. They have a sense of purpose, and they've had this burning desire for something, but they don't know what it is. And it's most likely been there your entire life. And it's this like yearning. You're like, I know I'm meant to do something. I know I'm meant to help people. I know I'm meant to help animals or this or that or the planet, whatever. And it's this deep inner calling. It's the soul calling. You come in with it. You come in with this knowing that you are meant for something. But part of the spiritual journey is figuring out what that is. Now, when you get to this alignment phase, that's when you're like, oh, this is my thing. This is what I want to do to help lift the planet. Because ultimately, our life purpose is pulling down our personal soul frequency into the earth and helping shift the planet in this awesome shift experience. That's the basis of what that life purpose is. It looks very different for people. It looks so different. There's some people who are helping get plastic out of the ocean. There are some people who are doing this and helping guide people on their spiritual journey. There are some people who are making high vibrational music to uplift the masses. There are those that are being a vet and helping animals. There are those that are conserving parts of the earth to ensure that certain migratory birds and certain species don't go extinct. Coming up with these new and technological advances that are helping humanity legitimately, or helping the earth in some way and the earth's inhabitants in some way, etc. It looks all, it looks different. It shows up different, but at the core, it's pulling down your unique frequency and anchoring it in. Sometimes it's literally just, being a cashier at a retail location at a retail business, and spreading light that way, and just showing up and smiling at people and talking to people and brightening their day. Um it's that's living your purpose, spreading your light. Okay, anyways, it's walking the talk as well, and it's walking the talk in a way that is non-judgmental. And it's really, it's also having an awareness and understanding this is a journey. It's a journey, and it's a process with different phases that come and go. It's we've got you do phases of inner work, you do phases of shadow work, you bring it in, you integrate it, and then you show up in your most aligned highest self that you can embody in that moment. And then it's doing it again. But it's not getting stuck in shadow work. That is something that I did for a long time. I know a lot of people do. You get stuck in this healing pocket and you're like, I just have to heal more because I just have so much to heal. And it's like healing is a journey. Um it's a lifelong journey. And so you do a little bit and then you live, and then you do a little bit and then you live, and you integrate and you bring it in, and you align with your soul and you bring it forward in the best way you can in that moment, and then you do some more later when you're called to. It's not getting stuck in these phases. um it's continuous healing and expansion. And it's really, just staying as true to yourself and in your soul alignment as possible in that moment. Um, Remember, you never get it wrong and you never get it done. And so that is from Abraham Hicks. A little shout out. Um, Definitely check out their content. It's great. Esther Hicks channels this group of beings that go by Abraham. And that's their biggest thing is you never get it. What is it? You never get it wrong and you're never done because you're expanding. We're expanding. That's this whole thing. We're expanding, we're ascending, and we're experiencing, and it's great. And so with that, be good, be kind to yourself. And it's being in this alignment phase is really understanding that that's part of it. You get to experience contrast because you're a physical being having a human experience. From the human perspective, you always experience contrast, and contrast is things that you don't like, things that you don't want. And so you recognize it, you identify it, and then you get to shift and you move to what you want to bring in. That's a little side manifestation note, but that is part of the ascension process. um this is also where you're able to enjoy the human experience. So you wake up and you're like, I get to be a human today. And it just enjoy being a human and having this human experience and understanding that this is an elite ability to be a human at this time on the earth. It really is. You got your earth ticket and you're here, and that's so cool. And being a human is fun. It's an honor. It's an honor to be a human. And to just be, an animal and a tree and everything else. It's the awareness of like, I get to be a human and I also love and respect everything around me. Okay, what else? Fully trusting in the divine plan, not operating from a control-based set point. So this is where you get comfortable and used to surrendering into a place where you know that your higher self is running the show, and you get your ego kicked to the back seat 90% of the time, and you let your higher self kind of take the wheel and guide you into the life that of your dreams that you couldn't have fathomed back when. And so you just allow yourself to be on the ride, but it's not like it you're still in the driver's seat. It's just your ego who's attached to all these things and having these limiting beliefs run the show. That's not what's in the driver's seat. And if you're on this video, you probably understand what I'm trying to say there. Because it's not like you're just flailing in the wind ungrounded with, whatever. It's you're in charge of your life, but you're in charge of your life in a way that's not attached to human ego things. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay. Um, it's a non-judgmental place to be. It's understanding that everyone, I'm going to read this verbatim. Hold on. I wrote this down, and I'm going to mess the wording up. Okay. Understanding that everyone has a right to their soul path or plan, and helping those who want your help while allowing others to have their experience and not forcing your beliefs on others. So this is really that in a nutshell is you transcended the spiritual ego. You transcended the the um the need to control certain things, to force your viewpoints and your opinions and your experiences on others because you know best. It's understanding that what's best for you might not be best for somebody else, and that's okay. It might not be for them right now, and that's okay. And you get to help people who want your help. This was something I struggled with for a long time, was helping people who didn't really want my help. I found myself trying to help a bunch of takers, we could say, who didn't really want to do the work to better themselves. So what would happen is I would show up and I would try to help them, and then I would be drained and they would not take the help that I was trying to give them and integrate it and actually use it to show up better in their life, if that makes sense. So I was trying to coach people who didn't want to put the work in. I was trying to spiritually mentor people who didn't truly want to walk the walk. And now I'm in a place to where I absolutely love helping people on this journey. And I love helping people who want to be their best version. And through that, it's a co-creative experience where we both end up on the other side our best versions, because I learn a lot through those experiences too. It's always a mutual exchange. It's not a take give situation. It's a mutually uh, reci- there's reciprocity. um and so it's getting to that place. um and then it's also allowing that duality contrast process to happen without attachment to the outcome. And so it's wanting certain things and allowing yourself to want them, and then also releasing them at the same time and allowing yourself to have the experience that is in your highest good to have. And sometimes the human wants to fight that. Sometimes the ego wants to fight that. And getting to this place of alignment is this constant thing, because the ego is always there. It's like you can go through an ego death, but you still have an ego. Like, it's still there because it's a part of being alive in a human right now. It's the part that is experiencing separation. And so that ego is always there, but it's about not letting your ego run the show, which your ego is what's attached to that outcome. Because it's your ego that's fearful that you're not going to achieve the thing, do the thing, look the way, whatever, perform the way, blah 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 blah, right? It's the ego that has those limiting beliefs. It's the ego that is attaching to the outcome. And so this alignment phase is about really being able to kick that ego to the back seat and not attach to the outcome, and know that your best beautiful life is on your highest timeline. And all you have to do is just continue to integrate and to shift your vibration into the highest timeline possible to you in that given moment. And everything that you want or could want, in things that you couldn't even fathom, all of a sudden start to appear, and you're just like, oh my gosh, like, I never would have done this, but this is so fulfilling. That's alignment phase, and it's awesome, and it's great, and it's where you get to just experience being a human and having fun and helping in whatever way that is for you, living your life purpose, and being along for the ride, more or less, in a beautiful way that's not giving up way, I guess. So, okay. Well, with that, this is going to actually conclude this whole little mini series on phases of awakening. If you have gone through other phases that I did not touch on, definitely let me know in the comments. If you have any other tidbits that you would like to share with us about alignment phase or any of these other phases, let me know. Let us know in the comments. And I will see you in a different mini series. Bye.